who that is? Do you know who this handsome gentleman here with the long, beautiful hair? 1600s, that's Sir Isaac Newton. And he put together something that was revolutionary at the time. He put together the first law of motion, okay? You familiar with this? Because really, today, what we do with today, we have two choices, right? We can be in motion or we can be standing still, right? We can go out there and we can take action today because as the law states, bodies in motion tend to stay in motion until they are affected by an outside force, all right? But bodies that are still remain still. And that's really what we're talking about here. If we're going to go out, if we're going to make the decision today to go out and pick up the phone and talk to a distressed property owner, talk to a stranger, right? Talk to somebody about real estate. We're going to be going after these distressed property owners and having good quality conversations. We have that today. And if we're going to do that today, why wouldn't we document it? Why wouldn't we let everybody know all of this energy and all of this passion that we have for being a real estate entrepreneur, for being a real estate investor? I mean, it's absolutely so incredible. That's what this show is about today. It's about getting deals through documenting your day, through putting yourself out there, for being brave and having courage and showing people what you're doing. If it's driving for dollars, if it's calling somebody, if it's looking at a property, if it's comping, whatever it is, document your day. Look at this. Check this out. We have 168 hours in a week. 168 hours. All right? What I'm asking for, and this is not crazy. This is not life-changing. This is not life-altering. This isn't going to take you on a weird path where you're just always on your phone all the time and you're not really being productive. You're just being selfish and you're just like, going on and looking at everybody else's life, being a voyeur. No, this is being proactive. This is talking to people through your social media. This is being loud. I am telling you, being loud is one of the most powerful tools that we have in our business, is being loud and being brave and having courage and having confidence and having that posture that you have clarity and discipline in your day to every single day go out and try to serve your community to help the people that won't help themselves. 168 hours a day. All I'm asking for, and I'm giving you straight instructions, straight to your veins right here early in the show. 3 posts. This is all I'm saying. This could be stories. This could be a post. This could be whatever you want. But 3 30-second posts a day. All right? This is 5, and you do that 5 times a week. That's 7.5 minutes of content that you're putting out there to all of your friends, all of your family, all the people that are following you, all the people that are interested in you, all the people that are hearing about the cool and exciting things that you're doing with your business. I'm talking 7.5 minutes a week. And listen, let me prove this to you. All right, let's look at the facts here real quick. Let me skip this right here. Do you know that that's how much you have to make to be in the top 5% income earners in the United States? $273,850. To be in the top 5% of the United States of America, the wealthiest country in the world. All right, it's $273,850. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine making that? That's, $22,000, $25,000 a month. What does your life look like there? What does it feel like? I want you to sit in that for a second. I want you to really absorb all of that. What would that look like? $20,000, $25,000 a month coming in opportunities because you're posting to social media, letting everybody know what you're doing. All right, and let me show you the facts. This is our business this year. This is how much we've made this year from referrals from social media. $291,000, over 5%. We're making more than the top 5% income earners in this country from just posting to social media. I am telling you, this is the thing that is not being talked about enough. Yes, we know which lists to go after. Yes, we know what to say when we get those lists, when we're making contact with those property owners. Yes, we know what to do on appointments. It's all in TTP Insider. You guys got all the tools, all the resources you need right there in TTP Insider to have all of that, right? $291,000. The missing piece is you're not being loud. I am today challenging you, encouraging you, and most importantly, giving you permission to go out there and post every single day and document what you're doing. Everybody that does this over time wins. Everybody. And listen, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to turn that around if you're not used to it. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. Don't be that person. Be you. Just be you and just show what you're doing throughout the day. It's exciting. You don't understand how exciting it is to people outside of our little bubble, our little world. It's really, really, really exciting, but just be you. I don't care if you speak slowly and softly and whatever else. Be you. I don't care if you're bombastic like me and you just go crazy with it and get real high energy with it. Whatever it is, be you. Be authentic, but just be loud. All right, I am telling you, this is, I mean, that's more than the top 5%. And so what I wanted to do for the show is bring on somebody that has taken this to an extreme level, has been doing an incredible job. Not only does he find these opportunities, but he's doing an incredible thing with an incredible strategy called the Burr strategy. I'm sure you're familiar with it. We can break some of that down. But it is my pleasure to bring on, well, first of all, welcome to the Brent Daniels Live Real Estate Investing Show. I am excited. I'm your host. I'm here with my co-host, Rafael Cortez.
Let's go.
There we go. One more banana in the fruit basket himself. And we are excited. So let's bring on Devin Burr. Devin, come on here. Come on in.
Brother.
How are you?
Doing good, man.
Awesome. Let's bring this to you. Let's talk about this. So you started getting loud on TikTok.
Yes.
You started getting real loud on TikTok, right?
It started with Instagram.
Okay, go.
So, I mean, you hit everything right on the head. Like, basically, you guys have to think about this thing right here is free. It doesn't cost anything. It just takes your time. And as Brent just showed, it doesn't take a lot of time. So put that time and energy into something that is a free platform to build a brand. That brand can then catapult you into opportunity after opportunity. And it's just, you have to constantly act, period. It's that easy. Just take action and good things follow. The problem that a lot of people have is they're chasing the dollar.
Push you closer here. I feel like you're far apart. There we go. There you go.
A little more into it.
There we go.
But people are chasing the dollar. And what happens when you chase the dollar, you're always chasing it. It's always in front of you. Don't chase the dollar. Give value. And this thing right here gives you the opportunity to give value to other people for free. Then the dollar chases you. It's really that simple. And in fact, let's actually go. I'm going to do a live on my
I love it.
TikTok.
How many people follow you on TikTok?
700,000, give or take.
700,000 people
And
on
this
TikTok.
this was since December.
Right.
So it's
This
grown.
is in 10 months, 11 months.
Yeah, it's grown quickly. So if we can put that on.
So how did you feel? What was your toe in the water? What was the first thing that you did to start posting and getting loud on social media? Was it Instagram? Was it stories? What was it?
It was Instagram.
Yep.
So basically what I was doing, I was brand new into real estate, October of 2019. And basically I just started going to meetups, started going where other people were at, and just putting stories on there. And then once I got my first flip, I was walking the property. I was showing what we're doing. Here's what we're doing. We're taking this wall down. This is going to be tile, and just pointing out what I was doing and just constantly asking people for deals. Like, look, I'm doing a deal here. I'm looking for more. Send me what you got. Getting loud about it. It's free.
How do you ask? How do you ask for it? Are you just saying, hey, listen, I'm buying, I'm a buyer, send me your opportunities? Like, what was your message? What was your, how do you get people to take action from posting to social media?
I think the main thing, what you hit on, it's being yourself.
Yes.
Being authentic. Like, I can't be you. You can't be me. Everyone watching can't be us.
Yeah.
You have to be yourself, and just when it comes across on the screen, people feel that. They want to do business with people they like. And they don't like people someone that's being fake or not being themselves. So just be yourself and document what you're doing, like Brent said, and then just ask for a deal. Say, hey, send me deals. I'd love to look at everything. It's really that simple.
I'm looking for opportunities. I love properties that need a lot of love, or they need a lot of renovation, or I'd love to do a project in this area. Get specific with it and see what comes your way. It's just documenting what you're doing. You're like, well, I don't have that many followers. I don't have, I don't really, post a lot. I'm not really comfortable with that. I think putting myself out there in the public is scary. What do you say to that?
Dude, October 2019. So I worked corporate job at Quicken Loans. I was really big into fitness. I did bodybuilding competitions. My entire following on Instagram was about 2,000 people, fitness followers.
Yeah.
So like my entire Instagram was ab shots and just looking jacked, right? Nothing to do with real estate. Now my Instagram has about 17,000 followers. That's all organic just from putting out content. And the majority of those followers now are real estate, entrepreneurs, and people looking to grow businesses and do big things. And then on TikTok, it was at 0 December of last year. And like I said, now it's at about 700,000. So you can grow these things for free. There's no cost. It just takes your time and energy, and you just have to come across as genuine. Just be yourself.
So then people send you deals?
Correct.
People send you opportunities. They're like, hey, I locked up this deal. Do you want it? Or I need some help. A lot of ours is, hey, do you want to buy this, or will you help us dispo?
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of times they just don't have as robust of a cash buyer database that we do to sell these deals. So they come to us to get those done.
Right.
Right? Is that...
Right. Pretty much that's how my business model works is people will send me deals, and I'll straight up tell them like, hey, look, I'll buy it at this price. If I like the deal, I'll buy it at this price, but do you mind if I try to move it on? That's all they care about. They just want their price.
Yeah.
So if I can move it on and make a little bit of money off of it, I'll do so. But if I can't, I've guaranteed that price. I'll buy it at that price if I can't move it.
So is this your primary way to get business? Are you doing other marketing? What are you doing? Because you're doing a lot of burrs, right?
Yeah. That's basically everything I'm doing now.
All right. So tell everybody what you do, like what your business is.
So basically all of my marketing is free marketing. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I don't pay a penny for marketing. Very different than a lot of people out there. They'll do text messaging, cold calling, mailers. Nothing is paid for on my end. It is 100% free marketing. So what I do is I'm very loud. I speak to my followers. I put out content all the time. And then
You're speaking to them right now.
I mean, yeah. So basically, once a deal is sent to me, I underwrite it. I see if the numbers pencil out for me in my actual method, which is the Burr method. And what that is, if people don't know, it's buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and repeat. So my last name is Burr. It's B-U-R-R.
It's perfect.
So the Burr method just made sense. And last year, it kind of hit me. I'm like, my brand could be Mr. Burr.
Yeah.
Because I am Mr. Burr.
Yeah.
It just made sense. So basically what I do is I get all of my deals free marketing. Once I have it, I buy it with my LLC, renovate it with my LLC. I do the method a lot different, actually. I don't rent and refinance. I buy it, renovate it, sell it to my wife as the end buyer. So now we control the entire transaction. If we need to get a little bit higher on the price on the exit, we're dictating that. So we can reach a little higher to get more of the cash back out, pay off the hard money, pay off private lenders, rinse and repeat.
Got it. And how many do you do?
We've got 6 right now.
Okay.
That's kind of my capacity. It's
a lot.
It's a lot for me right now. So we're looking to bring on more crews so we can take on more projects. Once you start getting big, the money is the easiest thing. Like once you have a track record, money's easy to come by. People will
To
throw,
buy with.
Yeah, people
Raising capital.
People will throw
Got
money
it.
at you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
The hardest thing is finding the deal and the crews. So that's kind of where we're at now. We're needing more crews. We don't need more money. People are just throwing money at us left and right. We need more crews.
That's incredible, isn't it?
It's a good problem.
As soon as you have a track record, as soon as you have that experience, you can raise as much money as you want.
Correct.
I mean, right now, for sure. I mean, who knows if the economy goes bananas, which it's not forecasted to. But right now, raising funds, I mean, people are worried about all sorts of different things with the stock market or inflation or, whatever. They need to put money somewhere, and lending it to you is a good option.
Yeah, it's backed by real estate.
Yep.
I personally guarantee everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then get this, I pay 15%.
15% interest?
Yes.
Woo!
Which ain't bad. So
yeah, with the industry standard is 10 to 12-ish, right? So 15 is nice. So they're feeling good about things.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And a lot of times the investors don't want their capital back. They just want to keep turning it into new deals. So
yep, got it. And you're getting all these deals from this. From being loud.
Social media, being loud.
I love it.
That's it.
Guys, remember, this whole show is question and answers. So if you've got some comments, if you've got some questions, make sure that you're putting them in. Alejandra is going to be selecting them. So, put in great questions, and we're going to be rocking and rolling. So from TikTok, Butters99SM says, more crews. What does that mean?
So that just means people that can fix properties up, because quite frankly, I can't even swing a hammer.
Right.
I'm probably the least handy person there is.
Yeah, you're a pretty boy.
Yeah. So, but basically it's just people that can do the work on the properties. So contractors and general contractors, subcontractors, all that kind of stuff.
Got it. Love it. Yeah, guys. And also, if you have some success this week, if you've locked up a deal, if you've sold a deal, make sure that you post it. I want to ring that bell and celebrate your success. Rafael, what do you think? What is your take on being loud on social media? What are you doing to take action on that? How has that affected your business?
It's a total game changer. And I haven't taken it to the level that Devin has. But it is. I mean, we get deals consistently from social media. Just people that know that we're in the business, right? They just start sending deals out to you. Hey, can we JV on this? Can we, tee up an opportunity here? They'll see what area you're in, and then they'll start, calling you about that area. But yeah, 100%. You have to do it. And you're actually the one that told me about a year and a half ago to get loud.
Yeah.
I remember that conversation vividly. Like,
how
bro,
has your business
get
increased?
loud. Oh yeah, yeah, tenfold. I mean, it's crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm telling you, we're in a different era. We're just in a different era. Before, you had to, before, like way back in the, you had to put like paintings out. You got a painting, and then that was popular, and people were like, oh wow, look at this painting. This painting's communicating with me, or at least telling me something about this person or whatever else. And then you go, and then radio waves get invented, and then all of a sudden the sounds come through the ether, and if you're on the radio, you dominate the minds and hearts of people, right? And then it turned to TV, and then the internet came out. All right, guys, we are in the internet age. We need to be brave. We need to have the courage. And I'm telling you, if you go out there, even if you don't want to do it as like, I don't want to be an influencer. I think that's not where I want to go. I just, I want to document, and I want to try to help people out in the community. That's what I'm talking about here. I mean, you could go as crazy as you want and become an influencer, but all I'm talking about is posting 3 times, 30 seconds a day, documenting what you're doing, showing the action that you're taking. Not only that, but I'm telling you, the people that you want to raise money from, the first thing they're going to do is go to your social media and see what's going on there. So first, you don't want to go on there and do some crazy stuff, get too wacky, have really wild opinions, because it's going to really restrict you. I'm just saying, document the actions that you're taking and watch what you're doing with your, strong opinions out there. If you want people to bring you deals, if you want people to not cause friction with people, right?
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a big point. Go ahead, Rafael.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, you are a brand whether you realize it or not. Right? That took me a minute to understand, right? But we're all brands. I mean, even if you have 100 people that follow you on social media, you're a brand for those people. Now the thing really becomes when you come across something good. It's almost like a responsibility to share it, right? You're not just putting stuff out there for the sake of putting stuff out there. Devin said it right. You're leading with value. You're leading with value, and when you put value out there, it's going to change somebody else's life. It's going to have the right, comment at the right time and whatnot, it can really create something that has a long-lived ripple effect. So that's part of it. It's part of how I see it now, and that pushes me to posting, even though I'm not a huge social media person.
Right.
100%.
Yeah. I remember the first time doing a Facebook Live, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. This is so crazy. I don't know what to expect. And it's just, you get used to it. You really it's reps. It's just reps, right? The first TikTok post.
I think one thing that you have to get over is the fear of what people are going to think.
Right.
Right? Because what I think about fear is it's not real. Mm-hmm. It's something in your head that you're making up that doesn't exist. You should be scared of something that has danger. Like if I'm going to run into oncoming traffic, I should be scared about that because I could die. Mm-hmm. That's dangerous. But if I post something on social media and someone sees it, nothing's going to happen to me. So what am I scared about? That's the mental hurdle I had to get over.
It's just judgment.
And once I realized that if I say something, there's a lot of people out there that can connect with me. Just in general, like who I am, where I come from, a lot of people that won't. But if I can connect with those people and bring them value, what am I scared about? I'm actually doing a disservice if I keep the value, like Raphael said, to myself. I need to give that value to other people. And like I said before, money starts following you. Mm-hmm. You don't have to chase it any longer.
I love it. I love it. And just, the call to action on these posts is I'm looking to buy ugly houses, and I'm looking for cash buyers that want to buy these to do flips or whatever else. You could do different things each time, just depending on what you want to attract with those posts.
Right.
Which, over a long time and consistency, I'm telling you, you build up an unbelievable network. And people are like, oh, yeah, I've heard of you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? If you want to have like that, you walk into a room for networking or whatever else, and people are like, oh, yeah, I saw your stuff. That's a great feeling.
It's a cool feeling.
It's a great icebreaker. It's a great just way to start the conversation. And then, how's business? What's going on? Talk to me. What are you up to? You know what I mean? It's phenomenal. I'm telling you guys, this might not be the, this is how you close a seller episode type thing. But this right here for lead generation.
This is the hardest part.
In the next 10, 15 years, I am telling you, it's only going to get bigger. So you need to get louder, and document your day. Be confident in it. Be brave in it. Have the courage to turn that camera around and post. And listen, if you get slack from it from family or friends or whatever else, just brush it off. They don't understand. Here's the important part. You have to understand. If somebody's in real estate and they see you posting like this, they're going to be like, cool. If they're not, they don't have our brain. They don't have an entrepreneur's brain. We're going all the time. We're promoting our business all the time. We're building our business all the time. This is our livelihood. This is our dream. This is our passion. This is beyond passion, our purpose to go out there and serve. You can serve more people if more people know what you do. That's just facts.
100%.
Law of motion, baby. Sir Isaac Newton.
I love that. You can serve more people if more people know what you do. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, well, and that's the beauty of social media, right? It allows you to cast such a big net. Mm-hmm. Like you touched on it before. In the old days, you have to have like a billboard or a sign or something. The net is so small because it's just whoever passes by that. With social media and algorithms, it can literally be pushed out to millions and millions and millions of people. I have a TikTok video that has 10 million views. Yep. 10 million people have seen that video.
It's a great video.
So
I've seen that video.
It's insane.
I was sent that video by Dan Greif. Shout out to Dan if you're watching. He's at home on paternity leave. Lucky guy. Lucky guy. Anyway, beautiful baby. Congrats, Danny. Your income right here, law of compensation. Go giver. One of the best. Your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. You want to serve more people? Get louder. That's it. That's
100%.
All right, let's crack this thing open. Let's crack this thing open and really start picking this thing apart and see what we've got this week. What do we got, Alejandra?
Hold on.
Oh.
I've been going through all of these stuff, so it's a little slow.
Okay, sorry. We've got three different places that people are commenting, so Alejandra's like putting it all together. She needs an extra arm. If I can't afford a dialer, how many calls per day would you recommend we make by hand per day per week? Johnny Buys Homes, listen. Get there as soon as you can, Johnny. I'm speaking to you. Get to a dialer as soon as you can. Sell stuff, flip stuff online. Do whatever you can to get a dialer because it's 10 times more efficient. But if you can't, shoot for 50 calls a day, 50 dials. Now, you're not going to get as many contacts there, but 50 a day is a lot. And it just depends on how much time you have. But if you've got the time and you're going to be in motion this week, 50 dials, hand dials a day. All right. Now remember, one deal per 200 conversations. So get to those 200 conversations as quick as possible. Typically, it takes about 90 days, though, right? 90 days from the first time you talk to somebody to getting it closed.
One thing I would recommend is we're talking about it now, getting loud on social media.
Yep.
That gets you deals for free.
Right.
There's no cost.
Yep.
What I would do is go get your first deal or 2 deals, take half of what you made, use that for marketing. So now you're not taking out of your pocket, essentially. You're taking money that you never had before. You created that money for free. So use half of it, go get your dialer, go do some skip tracing, get some VAs, and then take the other half, and that's money that you've made. Now either spend it or invest it or whatever you want to do, but get a couple deals first, then go actually get these different things to market.
Love it.
Somebody's asking, what's the best dialer?
Best dialer, Batch Dialer, batchdialer.com, coupon code TTP, Batch Dialer. Matt's going to put it across the bottom here. But yeah, guys, it's specifically designed. I had my hands all in it, all in the pie as they're developing it. They're down the hall. They're literally, the staff is right here. And I'm constantly getting updated on it. I'm telling you, nobody's putting more resources, and I literally more human power and capital into that dialer than Batch. They're very, very, very serious about it, and they're very good. And it has increased our contact rate unbelievably in these times of so many people are making calls and I'm not getting through and there's wrong numbers and all these other things. Batch solves those. So
in the words of Brent Daniels,
yeah.
it's bananas.
It's bananas. It is bananas. There it is. Chase, I pulled over 10 lists and 90+% of the contacts I reach out to ask, why do you type of people keep reaching out to me? Please stop. Why does this happen to almost all my calls on every list? Well, what I see there, Chase, is almost all means not all. All right? Listen, you're going to make contact with people that are motivated. The issue that you're running into, Chase, is you're reaching out to people that don't have a timeline to sell that property yet. They're just not there. It's a timing issue. What do you think?
I think 100%. It's all about timing.
Yep.
Timing and consistency. I heard this from, I think, Pace.
Yep.
So he talks about it's not like talent. It's not rapport that gets you a deal. It's timing and consistency. If you consistently do something, you're going to get that person at the right time.
Yep.
So that's all it is. And yeah, to your point, it's like there is a percentage that actually are ready. It's just most of them aren't.
And statistically, Chase, just to kind of give you something to push for, 199 people will never do business with you out of 200 that you speak to, but one will. And that could be $10, $20, $30, $40,000. And if you're using a dialer and you look at how long does it take me to hit that many people, talk to that many people, it's about 20 hours. So you're talking 20 hours for 10K, 20K, 50K, depending on what market you're in. The numbers work out. It's just the slugfest that you're going through. You know what I mean? Getting rejected by 199 people will make 99.99999% of the human population crumble and never want to pick up the phone again. You got to push through that. Push through that, have 1,000 contacts yourself first, and then you can start considering hiring somebody to take some of that, some of those efforts off your plate.
Great.
One thing that I see on there, it's the math actually makes sense, right? 90% of the contacts
Yeah.
are not going to be interested. We're aiming
20
for a 3 to 5%
That's it.
of the people who are interested in selling. Maybe 3 to 5 are
point.
going to sell to us.
Right.
So that other percentage, they're interested in selling, just not to us, right? So that the math actually, Chase, makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Well, 10%, 20 out of 200
Yeah.
people will say yes, they do want to sell.
Yeah.
And then of that, one will be in the right price point that makes sense to you.
Right. One thing to add to it is I'm big on educating myself. I do a lot of reading, if it's audible or actually physically reading, because I believe you can do two things with your time: entertain yourself or educate yourself.
Yeah, sure.
Period. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Most people choose to entertain themselves, watch TV, scroll through social media, instead of educating themselves on how they can become better. So what I mean by that, great book, if you guys are into reading, is 3 Feet from Gold.
I love it. I
That
haven't read it.
book literally talks about most people, they give up before they're right there before hitting gold.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are going to make 1,000 calls and just be like, this doesn't work. I'm going to go back to my 9 to 5. Some people are going to keep pushing through
Yeah.
and they're going to hit gold.
Yeah.
So great book. If you guys are into reading, check that one out.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. And you're doing 75 hard.
I am. Yes. It's not very hard yet. I'm on day 11.
No, that is crazy.
It's
That
going to
is
be hard on
incredible.
Thanksgiving.
Guys, if you have questions about 75 hard, he's on day 11. Let's see what he's made of. Yo, I worked at Quicken Loans as well. I was a purchase mortgage banker, small world for sure. I learned so much about myself working for Quicken Loans. Quicken Loans showed me what I am capable of. What's the commonality there? What's going on in Quicken Loans? That's
So Quicken's a great company.
okay.
Like it really is. I worked
Yeah.
there for almost 10 years.
Okay.
Great company. If you're going to be in mortgages, it's probably the best company to be with. Me personally, I've always considered myself an entrepreneur. When I was in 3rd grade,
Yeah.
I bought and sold caramel apple lollipops
Get
to
outta
kids.
here.
I would buy a bag of them at Costco
Yeah.
and resell them for like 50 cents a piece.
Sure.
I'd be coming home with just so much money. My mom asked me one time, "Where'd you get all this money? Did you steal it from your dad?"
Yeah.
And I literally said, "Mom, Dad's broke." So, like, I always knew I wanted to be
Wow.
my own boss. And it got to a point where I just started seeing how much Quicken was making, how much I was making, which was good money.
Yeah.
I was making $200 grand a year, working like 35 hours a week. I had it set for like corporate America. But after taxes,
Yep.
which you're taxed at the highest rates when
rate.
you earn income,
Yep.
after 401ks, which don't get me into that. But
Yeah.
I just realized that I wanted to do more and I could do more if I was the boss.
Love it.
So, but Quicken, great company.
Yeah. There you go. Awesome, Brian. Looks like he's making his transition as well.
Yeah.
Looks like he's got a similar brain as yours.
Brian,
you know?
hit me up, dude. DM me, Mr._Burr.
There you go.
Two-part question.
Two-part question coming up. Alyssa, there she is. If our Instagram is being used just as personal profile right now, do you recommend starting a new one focused on real estate or just use the followers we already have?
I would just choose the ones you have.
Nobody I knows I'm diving into real estate, so I think it'd be a surprise to all my followers. LOL.
I think you should stick with them.
Be strong, Alyssa. Listen, you're powerful. You can do this. Just document what you're doing. Be excited about it and do it in your own way.
It all goes back to what you said at the beginning, right? Be you.
Yeah.
Be you.
Yeah.
For example, when I started doing social media, and I still do it now, but I was very, very apprehensive about my accent. I mean, when I'm in the middle of an English sentence, I start speaking Spanish. Just don't even know it.
Sure.
And I used to push away from that kind of stuff, but that was on my personal side, right?
Right.
And I tried to become like all professional and then topic driven and whatnot, and it just wasn't working. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
So yeah, Alyssa, just be you.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's part
I
of
love
you.
it.
Roll with it. Yeah.
I wouldn't start a new Instagram. I would just go with what you have and just you are the business. You know what I mean? You're the owner. You're the one pushing. This is what you're out there doing. This is the value that you're providing. Have a lot of pride in it and just be you. Yeah. Good question though.
One of the biggest like slaps in the face you could have is someone you know, family, friends, current followers, you find out that they sold a property and they didn't sell it to you. That means that you're not loud enough. Like your friends, family, they should know you buy real estate and you sell real estate, period. And if they're doing it with someone else, you're not loud enough. So don't do a new Instagram.
Love it. Good question though. Never stop partying. Been listening to TTP for a year. I haven't got first deal and have made 5K phone calls. Now what? I guess it just depends on who you're calling and what you're saying and how those conversations are going. So I would be curious to know what you're saying on the phone. If you're following the TTP script, that's great. That's going to put you in the best position. But what most people do is they take the script and then they make it their own, and it's not as effective. So it might be the scripting, it might be your lists, and it might just be making sure that your data is really good. 5,000 calls, I'd be curious how many conversations that is, and then how many opportunities are in there, how many leads that you have that you're following up with. Because you might have made 5,000 calls, but you've only talked to, maybe a few hundred people, maybe 500 people. Typically, it's a 10% contact rate. So 5,000 calls is 500 people. You should have 2 deals in there. I'd look at your leads that you're following up with right now, and 2 of those should be converted into closed deals. So 1, stay optimistic, keep the energy high, have that energizing enthusiasm about this business, and keep pushing, keep making calls, and follow up on those leads that you do have.
Follow-up is huge.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Follow-up, 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 follow-up.
Yep. That's awesome. All right. Oh, there we go. Brian, your guy.
Hey, look at
Quicken
that.
Loans. I have one set to close tomorrow for $20K split between my business partner and myself. Come
I
on.
love it.
Come on.
Bell time?
Hey.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. Congratulations, Brian. We celebrate you. Keep it going. Let's add a 0 to that and just push for a $200K deal.
Hey,
keep
Brent,
pushing.
just for the record,
Yes.
Brian's emoji there looks like a banana going into a fruit basket.
Okay. I don't know what fruit baskets look like
Okay.
in your
Just saying.
mind, Raphael.
Just saying.
But that, I think that's just an explosion.
Okay.
But I love the bananas. I wish
Either
we
way,
would
it can be
I
construed
wish
a
we
lot
would
of
get
different
more.
ways.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things going on there. It's very, pictures say 1,000 words. Is there any reason particularly to sell your wife versus refi?
Well, that's a
This
great
is
question.
I knew this was going to come up.
Great question.
Great
So-
question, Dan.
The reason why is because with the traditional Burr, when you refinance, and I know this because I did mortgages, you have a lot of guidelines you have to adhere by on a refinance. You can only get so much out. You can only usually go to 80% loan to value.
Right.
So you're going to trap money that way. 2, you actually have a seasoning guideline. So generally it's like 12 months of seasoning. You have to be in the current loan before you can refinance it on cash out. So what that means is you might have extra hard money payments that are 12, 15, 18% interest that you shouldn't have to have.
So real quick, so you find somebody from social media goes, "Hey, Devin, I got this property. Do you want it?" You're like, "Look at it, comp it. Yeah, I want it." Right? And then you buy it cash, correct?
Hard money.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
right. But you're not getting a like a conventional bank loan.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You're not getting a quote unquote 30-year fixed mortgage.
Right.
I don't know why that's quoted. That's just a thing. You're not getting a 30-year mortgage on it. You're getting a hard money short-term loan at what percent?
I get it at like 12 to 15%.
And this is a hard money company, or is this what you're raising the funds?
This is hard money.
Okay, so this is just a traditional hard money.
Right.
How much do they make you put down?
I have it now because of the relationship. I
Right.
can do like 5% or 0 depending on the
Okay.
deal.
Yep.
So with a 30-year mortgage, right now it's like 3%, which is crazy.
Right.
That it doesn't matter how long you pay that for. It's almost free money. But if you have 12, 15% interest, you want to pay that for as little as possible.
Get it done.
Yeah, so you don't want a seasoning guideline where you're trapped in that deal for that long. Plus, refinance with the appraisal, it's a crapshoot. It comes in low all the time. With a purchase, I don't know why it is, but generally speaking, the appraised value kind of mirrors the purchase price. So the reason we do it this way, sell it to my wife, so we have total control. What I've learned is the more control you have, the less risk you have. The less control you have, the more risk you have. Think about if your brakes go out in your car, you've lost control to stop and your risk of crashing goes up. Same kind of thing. So if we can control the entire thing, We get the seasoning guideline out of there. We don't have to abide by 80% loan to value, so we get more of the cash out. And we can kind of push the appraised value if we need to get more money out and not trap it. So hopefully that answers that for you.
So let's break this down real quick. Come here, Devin. Come over here. So let's just say here you get $190,000 hard money on this, right?
Right.
This is your purchase. Okay. What'd you say?
My head's in the way.
My head's in the way. Got it. Yeah, that's a big head. Here. So that's where you're starting, right?
Right.
And then from there, what happens?
So then we have to renovate the property,
Okay.
right?
How much are you putting in typically?
So on something like this is a smaller deal. This would maybe be 40 grand.
Okay.
Right.
Put 40 grand in repairs. And where does that 40 grand come from?
All right, so 40 grand in repairs, you could have this out of your pocket.
Right.
What I do is I actually raise this from private lenders.
Do you raise the 5% down?
Yes,
So this, and you're going into these deals with none of your own money.
correct. So raising it all, so that way the only thing I'm really paying is the interest on the hard money and the interest that I have to pay the private money lenders.
Right.
I want to pay as little of that as possible.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So if I have a seasoning guideline where I have to pay hard money for longer, private money for longer, my out-of-pocket goes up. That means I'm going to trap more money in.
Yep.
So bottom line is I get the renovating done as quickly as possible. Once I get it done, actually before I even get it done, I start the process of buying it with my wife coming in as the end buyer. And that way we're only in the project for maybe 4 months, 5 months at most, not a year, and we're paying less interest.
So then we're into this. Let me spin around here. You're into this thing, let's say 240,000. Right? And this is just, guys, this is simple math. Obviously, there's closing costs, there's some hard money costs, whatever. Let's just say it's 240,000 just for whatever. You know, that's the purchase, that's your rehab, that's your holding costs, the whole thing. Now, what are you're selling this to your wife? Does the bank's okay with that?
Correct, because my LLC owns it.
Yeah.
So my LLC owns the property. Wife isn't on the LLC.
Got it.
It's a sole entity. It's a separate entity from
Okay.
her.
Yeah.
So then she comes in as the end buyer, purchases it from that entity.
Right. And so you go, okay, based on the comps, based on the repairs, based on everything, it should appraise because it still has to get appraised.
Right.
An independent appraisal that you can't pick, right? The bank picks it. It's round robin. They can't even select people that they specifically want.
Right.
This all happened because 2008 and 9 was, you know, just a circus. So 240,000, and then you've got you're going to sell it to your wife for what? 300?
So-
What are you looking at?
What I do is once I'm all in, so this all in number,
Yeah.
I calculate this on the front end. Whatever this is, I basically, I guess it'd be divide it
Yeah.
by 0.8.
Okay.
So add 20% on top,
Okay.
which will pay her back her down payment,
Right.
and then do my holdback for taxes.
Got
It's
it.
going to show as my LLC sold the property and made profit.
Right.
So I basically bump it up, whatever that is, if someone can do the math.
Yeah. Of 20% of this?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 48,000, so that's 288.
Yeah, so I need to sell it basically for around 290.
Got it.
To account for closing
Yep.
costs and all
Yep.
that. So if I sell it at 290 and comps are coming in around like 280, 285,
Yeah.
I still try to sell it for 290
Right.
because a lot of times the appraiser will give
Got
me
it.
that bump.
Okay. Is that clear for everybody? Good? Yeah? All right. That makes sense. I didn't know if the banks would be fine with you selling it to your wife because it's not like, you know, there's arm's length transactions, right? Where they're really watching, okay, I bought it here and then I sold it here to my buddy and we bumped it up and, you know, we made friendly with the appraiser and, you know, increased it and then we get into problems again, right?
Yeah, so we can't have any conversations with the appraisal like you said.
Right.
That can't happen. So
Right.
it's just sole entity. Wife is not a part of it whatsoever. It's actually owned by another entity that she's not a part of that is also owned by another entity. So we've got layers of protection in it.
How'd you figure this out? Working at the Quicken Loans?
I mean, a lot of stuff from Quicken, but then I
Yeah.
learned a lot from Templeton Walker. He
Got
was
it.
my original mentor
Yep.
and took me under his wing when
Yep.
I left Quicken.
Nice. Awesome.
Shout out to Temp. Love you, dog.
What's up, Temp? Got any flips you want to send my way? I love it. Ian. Yes.
Oh, this is my boy Ian Lasco.
There you go.
This is my guy. He worked at Quicken too.
Nice. Where are you flipping, Ian? Where's he flipping?
Here in Phoenix.
Nice.
Yep. So he's trying to get his first deal.
Yeah.
I'll be mentoring him.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
he's getting loud. Look at that.
I know.
Look
That's
at
what
that.
I'm
I love
saying.
it.
He's doing it right now. That's amazing.
Good
Awesome.
stuff, Ian.
Good. Ian, Jeremy at offerarizona.com. Jeremy at offerarizona. Send him an email. He will send you our current inventory. We've got a couple that we picked up last week that might fit what you want to do. All right. Pat, best advice for a brand new broke rookie investor with no network. What do you think?
This is
you 2 years ago.
This is me 2 years ago. 2 years ago, no one knew I was doing real estate. No network.
Right.
Except for fitness
Yeah,
network.
of course, yeah.
I started just getting loud with friends and family. I let them know, hey, I'm doing real estate. I'm trying to buy homes. I want to eventually have rentals. I want to do flips. I want to do wholesaling. Like, if you know of anybody looking to sell, please let me know, and I'll give you half of whatever I make. That's how I started doing it, because at the beginning, there has to be a value exchange. Pretty much with anything you do, there has to be a value exchange.
Love it.
So at the beginning, when you don't have a network, when you don't have people that know what you do, tell people, look, I want to get a deal. I want to do this. I want to do that. If you bring it to me, I will split my profit with you 50-50. So if I make $10,000 on an assignment fee, you get $5,000 for just simply bringing that property to me. So that's how I started getting a lot of deals sent to me, because people were like, well, I saw this one. I was driving by this. Would this work? I'm like, yeah. So then I call the actual homeowner. I try to get the contract. If I get it, I split the profit. So just get loud about everything you're doing with friends, family, and then document it on social media. Do hashtags, go follow people in the community that are doing real estate, and just become part of the community.
Love it. Rafael.
One thing that you can do is, and again, this is going back to social media, right? And finding business in social media. You can also tap in for buyers.
Yeah.
So if you're broke, if you don't have any cash to start off with, you can start JVing on deals, but you can start building your buyers list for free. Just go to Facebook. There's a couple different areas in Facebook where you can tap into it. So we have an actual page where we, post anything that comes our way, right? That's one. Then you can go to investor groups on Facebook. Start getting email addresses of people who are buying properties. Another one that a lot of people just kind of, fly by and don't see it often is the marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. So there's people in there that are actually doing deals and selling real estate and wholesale properties and pocket listings and that sort of thing. So if you're broke and you're starting off, you can begin totally free building your buyers list and then look at JV deals with somebody else. There's always a way to do it.
2012, Pat, totally rough time, coming off of a lot of stupid decisions in my 20s, was in a ton of debt. What I did for my first 20 deals, this is no joke, 20 deals, and I've got my CRM here laying on the ground, and I'll show you that in a second. But I would take a pad of paper, I would take a pen, I'd drive around the neighborhoods where I knew that people wanted to buy, and these are older neighborhoods built, before 1990. They were built, in Arcadia here. They were built in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and there were smaller houses on good-sized lots. I knew that there was going to be transition because the location was strong. So I would drive those neighborhoods, and I would knock on doors and ask them if they would consider an offer, or if they weren't there, I'd write their number down and get their phone numbers. At the time, the real estate brokers that I belonged to had a skip tracing. They had something called LexisNexis. Now skip tracing is more mainstream. So what you can do is you can literally just drive. Here's the secret to success. Find ugly houses. Get in contact with their owners. That's it. Either at the door or call them up and ask them if they would consider a cash offer in their property, and then figure out what exit strategy you want. That's it. And off the bat, if you're broke, you need to wholesale. You need to get some income in. Wholesaling is the ATM that funds our real estate investing efforts. All right, wholesaling is not real estate investing. Real estate investing is buying and selling or holding real estate. This is going and finding the opportunities. So find ugly houses, talk to the property owners, have a quality conversation with those property owners, and figure out what you, and wholesale and find somebody that will buy those. And that goes to the next point, which is you have to surround yourself with people that are doing this business. You should be going to every meetup you can. Go on Bigger Pockets, see if there's meetups there. Meetups locally in your area. Go on meetup.com, find all those. Type in REIA, R-E-I-A, in your area and go to all of those meetups. Like, go be around people, but you need to be in action or you're going to feel like you're a fly on the wall. I want you to be emanating, energizing enthusiasm. I want you to be a magnet, using the force like Vader over here when you walk into that room. And the way that you do that is by taking action every single day and having some opportunities come up that you bring to other people that are in that building. All right?
That's so huge.
Yep.
Getting around other people that are doing it. Like, you're a product of your environment.
Oh, for sure.
So
Yeah.
get around investors, you'll become an investor.
Yep.
Period.
Yep. And don't get bogged down. This is my CRM right here. This thing, this little accordion binder. Put the leads in there. If it was the day, if it was the 10th, I would call on the 10th. I would pull out the leads that were there for the 10th and call them out. You don't need to get lost in technology. You don't need to get lost in being perfect or, procrastinate. The 3 Ps, procrastination, perfectionism, and paralysis by analysis, right? Just take the action. A body in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. And you know what the outside force that really stops people's motion in our business is? Winning, is getting that check.
Yeah.
It's after you get
the
that
arrival
big check.
syndrome.
Yeah. Is that what you,
That's what I think of, is like when you've done some deals. And I had this actually last year at a certain point. I had done like 7 deals in my first 3 months.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm chest is puffing out. I'm like,
bank account's heavy.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm good.
Heavy.
I'm doing big things.
Healthy bank account.
Guess what happened?
Huh.
Didn't get a deal for like 3 months.
Right.
Because I stopped doing the things that got me deals, which was being loud on social media.
Yep.
I went to almost every single event there was when I was new. That was huge for me.
Yeah.
And it was so scary. But again, guys, if there's no danger involved, there's nothing to be scared of.
Right.
I remember my first meetup was at this office in like November of 2019. I was sitting in the parking lot, scared shitless. I knew nobody.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sitting there like in my own thoughts. Should I go in? What if I don't know what to do with my hands? Like, what am I going to do? Right?
Yeah.
I went in and instantly just started talking to people.
That's it.
Talking to people.
That's it.
Making friends. And I started getting deals.
That's it.
That easy.
Yep. Love it. There you go.
We're going to go back to your wife.
We're going back to your wife. Okay, here we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like talking about my wife.
Jerry, you want to read it?
How do you get around having so many houses being purchased by your wife? Maximum number of houses, 4 or 10, depending on who you ask. So it's 10. Great question. So
You have 10 golden tickets. Explain what a golden ticket is.
is this
The
Willy
mortgage.
Wonka?
Yeah, well, no, like, you know what I mean? Like, you get 10 mortgages traditionally.
In your name.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what it is. It's 10 mortgages in your name. So basically you can get to 10. You want to make sure they're good properties to have in that 10. You don't want to use them up on something that's
What
gonna
does good properties mean?
cash flow.
Okay.
Cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. If it cash flows like $100 a month, it's not a good property unless you don't have any money trapped in it. Then you're getting an infinite return. No money trapped. You make $1, it's an infinite return.
Right.
But a lot of times, even with our strategy, we're still trapping some money. Current deal we're about to exit is going to be probably 50 grand trapped.
Okay.
But the cash flow is going to be about 11,000 net. We'll get that back in 5 months, so it's not a big deal. Cash flow.
11,000 net a month?
Correct.
What are you buying?
Airbnb, high-end Airbnbs,
Yeah.
close to where all the events are at. Barrett Jackson, the waste
Okay.
management.
Yeah, I get it.
So Airbnb is all about location, where things are at that people want to go
Now
to
we're getting
when
into
they're
a
in town.
whole different conversation.
But
Woo! Who's got questions about Airbnbs too? Bring it.
so what we do, once we get to that 10, You can bundle them into a portfolio loan. Now those go into a separate loan. Now you've cleared up 10 more spots. You just rinse and repeat.
Is a portfolio loan with a different bank? You bring it to a different bank and say, "Hey, listen, I've got all this. This is this is the equity that I have in it. This is the terms and loan." I assume that a portfolio loan is going to be higher interest.
It will be. Right.
Right.
So you got to take that into account. So again, your cash flow, that's all I really look at is cash flow. How much am I going to cash flow? Because then there's less taxes.
Yeah.
Because I'm not earning the income. The property is, the asset is. When you do that, when you have an asset earning you income, you pay the least amount of taxes. Then you got your depreciation for tax write-offs. You have the appreciation with the market, so you grow wealthier. So that's all I look at is cash flow. Now, once you get to that 10, it has to go into a portfolio loan, which will be a little higher interest, so your cash flow will go down. But what'd you just do? You opened up 10 more spots to go get more cash flow.
Awesome. What banks do the portfolio? What's the best way to find them?
There's this thing called Google.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it or not, but
Are you being sassy? You're being sassy.
Google is a good spot to find anything.
Is that what you did? You literally just Googled portfolio lenders.
Yep.
And then you just do you have to package it all together, put all a whole like presentation and give it to them, or what?
Yeah. So the lenders let you know what they need.
Okay.
So just like anything, when you call in to get a mortgage on your house, they're going to let you know, I need pay stubs, W-2s, I need this, I need that. They're going to let you know, so you just give that to them.
Love it. Awesome. Are these loans where she has to live in them? No. No. These are investor loans, Tyler. It's tough to show that you live in that many properties. So it's not one of those where you buy it, you live in it, you fix it up, you get it ready, and then you buy another house as your primary. No, these are investor loans.
Yeah, I mean you could do that. It would just be it would be a slower strategy.
Way slower, right?
Much slower.
And some people do that, but just personally speaking, if I moved my wife every year into a new house, I would not have a wife.
Yeah,
So
moving sucks.
It just depends. But I know couples that do this every 2 years. They buy a house, they totally fix it up, they live in it for a little bit, and then they move.
God bless them.
Usually they're they stay within the same school districts if they have kids, but most of the time they don't have kids.
They're probably
more.
They're probably minimalists.
Mobile.
They've got like one chair, one table, one shirt, one pair of pants.
That's it. You only need
easy to move at that point.
You only need one shirt, though. You know what I mean?
You just need the right shirt.
That's right. You just need one that's form fitting. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Something that can last a while. There you go. Michael, how much are you keeping for CapEx on these assets?
20%.
What does the CapEx mean?
So that is holding back for things like repairs, vacancies. So basically what I do is when I calculate my numbers on the front end, I look to see how much I'm going to get in cash flow. And then that number, I basically just multiply it by 0.8, which will take 20% off the top. That 20% goes into a separate account. So in case there's a new roof that needs to be done, in case the AC unit goes out, that account covers it instead of the operating account.
Love it. Guys, if you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe and the alert buttons. Guys, we come out, we're live 3 times a week. Yep.
That's
we're
great.
live 3 times a week answering questions. Also, we're putting out additional deal breakdowns. We're having interviews with some incredible people from around the country. Do not miss every single day something. It's going to give you energy every single day. Make sure that you subscribe, hit that alert button. If you need resources, anything, if you're just getting started in real estate or you're experienced but you just want to round out some of the edges, ttpinsider.com. ttpinsider.com. It's completely free, guys. I am telling you, we put a lot of time, effort, and resources into TTP Insider. The toolbox is bananas. People are making a fortune off of it. So get in there, ttpinsider.com. All right.
Oh, and check out my YouTube too. I've got a new YouTube.
There you go.
So go check that out, Mr_Burr.
There you go.
B with 4 R's. And I talk a lot about just creative ways how I leverage money. So go check that out. Like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys.
just guys, do you see the little runner there, Mr. Burr? Check him out on YouTube. There you go. Awesome.
Hey, yeah, real quick, Devin, just to clarify on that last question that was asked about CapEx, what you're saying is that if you have a property that cash flows $100 a month, you're keeping $20 into that separate account, right?
Correct.
20%.
Correct.
It goes into like a savings
Yeah.
account. Where do you put it?
So this is a whole different can of worms. I don't want to open this up, what I do, but I basically take that and put it into a place. I don't want to say what it is because as soon as I say it, people will shut off. They won't listen to me. It's a place that has been around for several hundred years that gives guaranteed compound interest even if you use the money.
What?
Guaranteed. Been around for several hundred years.
Is this the mafia?
No. This is a tried and true place to put money.
Just tell them. We'll crack it open if people want to ask. We'll ask.
All right. So it is a specially designed
Yep.
and engineered whole life insurance policy.
Got it.
You put money there.
Yep.
It's going to grow and compound for the rest of your life, guaranteed, tax free. That is huge. And it gets dividends based on how profitable the insurance company is. The companies have paid out dividends every single year for over 120 years consecutively. So you're making money even if you use the money. So you can put it there, take it out, go invest it, go pay off debt, go leverage it, but it still grows like you never touched it. So that
But
is...
you have to put it back at some point.
No, that's the crazy part. So here's what you're doing. You're basically putting your money into a life insurance policy. Your money sits as collateral. You get a loan from the insurance company's
I had
general
this conversation
funds.
with my wealth manager yesterday. Literally yesterday. Brett and I had a conversation about this. Go ahead.
Here's the crazy part.
Yeah.
So you're getting a loan from the insurance company's money. Your money's collateral. That's
Yeah.
how it can just keep growing tax-free. You're borrowing from your future death benefit.
it.
So if you never pay it back, your death benefit just goes down.
What interest rate are they lending it to you at?
It's usually 1% higher than the guarantees.
Got it.
So
Okay.
the guarantee right now is 2%. So you're getting at 3%. Dividends just
It's a
fluctuate.
whole, guys, if you have questions about this, reach out to him directly. I mean, we can answer some on the show, obviously. We got him here, and we've got 57 minutes, so there might be some peeling back there. But if it's getting too technical for most of it, just if you want to get real nitty-gritty, reach out to him on Instagram. What do? You talk to people about it?
I talk to
Yeah,
people.
okay,
Yeah. So
okay.
just reach out to me. There's a link in my bio. If
There
you
you go.
click on it, there's an infinite banking tab. Just click on that. You have to watch a training video. I will not jump on a phone call with you unless you watch that, because quite frankly, it'll be a waste of your time and mine. We'll be on the phone for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So watch that. Then we can jump on a call. I can answer all your questions. And if you want to set up a policy, I'm actually licensed,
Yeah.
so I can set you up with policies the exact way I have all 8 of my policies.
Yeah. And you've worked with a lot of people on TikTok doing
Yeah.
this. Yeah. Awesome. Guys, reach out to him on his Instagram. Right.
Instagram, TikTok,
All right.
YouTube.
Awesome. Good. Is it risky to have properties on your personal in terms of liability?
I would say yes and no. Risk is associated with control. The less control you have, the more risk you have. Take into account a 401k with a bunch of mutual funds. You have zero control of your money. You can't touch it until you're almost 60 years old without penalty. You don't have control on which mutual funds it goes into. Those mutual funds, you don't have control on what they put it into. You have very little control, so your risk of loss goes up. So with a house, if you have a lot of control over everything, who your property managers are, who your cleaning people are, if you're doing Airbnbs, the more control you have, the less risk you have, in my opinion.
I think he's talking about like injury, like somebody slipping and trying to sue you
Oh, well,
on a property, and they see that you own,
Makes sense.
9 other properties under your wife's
Got it.
name.
so great question. So we started thinking about that last year when we started getting properties. We got up to, I think we were at 8 properties.
Yep.
And we're like, you know what? We're starting to have a lot of net worth. Right. Like we got money in the bank. Like I'm becoming bigger on social media. Like when you're at the top of the flagpole, you're a bigger target.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So we said we got to protect ourselves somehow.
Okay.
So we did a trust. Now everything is owned by the trust. I own nothing. I just control
You have
everything.
loans in your personal names, but the ownership of the property's in the trust.
Correct. So the trust owns everything.
And
I control everything.
Well, and technically, like, the bank can call it due if they see that you change the title on the property, but I've never heard it happen.
Ever.
Right.
Yeah, I worked at Quicken Loans for 10 years. Never once
If
heard
loans
it.
are getting paid.
Yeah, if they're paying the mortgage, who cares?
Yeah. I mean, everything, and that's another conversation I just had with Brett, my wealth manager guy. We're putting everything into different LLCs for my investment properties. My personal property that has a mortgage in my wife and I's name is in our trust.
Yep.
And that's common.
That's another
Yeah.
layer that we do. Every single property is in a different LLC.
Got it.
So there's an LLC
They're
for each
LLC,
one.
and then the trust owns those LLCs.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep. So
Love
just
it.
layers of protection.
Once you get to that point, Enrique, talk to a wealth management company, and they could do all the paperwork for you.
Yep.
They could set it all up. You can get an attorney to set up a trust. You can get all that done, and make sure that you're protected and your liability is reduced for
And
sure.
It's not too expensive. I think we paid like $2,600.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yep. Awesome. Tyler, there it is. That meetup is where I sold my first deal in 2019. Nice, Tyler. There's a TTP. Awesome. Good.
Tyler.
Awesome to see you doing so well, Devin. Yeah, Tyler, TTP, former Marine, joined TTP right out of getting out of the Marines and absolutely is crushing it. Thank you for your service to the country and for jumping on here, Tyler.
The few, the proud.
That's it.
The Marines.
That was great. You did it. You did their old ad. Is that still the thing?
I think it's the same.
It's still the. All right. I want to start. I have properties thrown at me, but how do I get in touch with a hard money lender?
Oh, this is so easy. There's this thing called Google.
Yeah, he's being sassy again. See,
You just honestly
this is what he's doing. He's being sassy.
you go on, just Google hard money lenders in your area,
Yeah.
and just vet them. And what I mean by vet them is you just call them, figure out what their terms are. That's one way. Another way is go to meetups, because when you go to a meetup, it's everyone's there. There's lenders there a lot of times. There's different construction workers there. There's
That's it.
wholesalers. There's realtors. Anything you need is usually in that room. You just have to talk to people.
Is that Annalise? Is that how you pronounce it, Raphael? Annalise. It is. I would get a personal referral from anybody that you respect in the industry in your area, and just ask them who they use and who you should talk to. Sometimes it's intimidating thinking that when you're asking somebody for money, that just naturally as a human, instinctually, we're just very nervous about that. This is their business. They make a lot of money doing this. They're going to look at the deal over look at kind of giving it to you. They're more like, do I want to invest in this property? So make sure that you have that mind shift change and not think that you're getting it. They're not giving you the money. They're giving the property the money. Okay. So when you do that, what I would suggest is have a deal that you have ready, and then get a referral from somebody that you respect, and then go into either get on the phone, email, get on the phone or go in person to the hard money lenders and just have a conversation with them and see what would you lend on this property.
One party that you can reach out to directly is going to be the title company. If you're already making connections with a good escrow closing agent,
great.
Ask them about attorneys, ask them about hard money lenders, ask them about private money lenders that they might know. So I guarantee you there's somebody in your network that has that connection.
For sure.
And that's why it's so important to have a network and to network with people and build relationships by going to different meetups and meeting different investors. Because if that investor that is well known in the area can vouch for you and make the connection with a hard money lender, that's how I got my first.
Yeah.
It was Templeton Walker. I was doing deals with him. Me and him go way back. He knows me personally, knows the kind of character I have and everything.
Yeah.
So when I had a deal ready, he just literally texted me in with his lender and said, hey, this is my boy Devin. He's good people. Can you help him out on a deal?
That's it.
it's so important.
And it
It's
goes
who
a lot
you know.
smoother, and you feel a lot more confident,
Yeah.
right? You were like, okay, cool. I
100%.
feel like I have a connection with this
100%.
lender. This is a great. I love these questions. I love that you came on here and you kind of cracked this thing open, different than just traditional wholesale and finding these deals, because we're getting into the real estate investing side of this show. You see it in the intro: wholesaling, real estate investing, and building wealth. So I love these questions. Boom, right here from Tegan. How should I approach a conversation with family members about a private money loan, and what's the best way to structure it?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yep.
That is a good question. So what I would honestly do is, and this is what I've done, is when people ask like what you do, think about that conversation. It happens all the time.
Yep.
If you meet someone new, they always ask, what do you do? Right? When you're talking to family, what have you been up to? Right?
Yep.
That's what always happens. So you have to kind of work on an elevator pitch, right?
Okay.
So what I generally do when someone asks me, what do you do? I say, oh, great question. I actually help people multiply their money by leveraging it into assets. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, I actually do real estate investing. I do flips. I do buy and holds, Airbnb. And I basically leverage other people's capital and give them a return monthly. So you get mailbox money at 15% interest.
Love it.
And then they're asking more questions. The more questions they ask, that means they're interested,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So
It depends on your strategy here, Tegan. If you're looking to do these Burr strategies or to do flips, or if it's a decent property, you're just getting it at a really good price and you want to add it to your portfolio, but you need the funds to do that. What I would do is I'd go out there and hustle my face off and find a deal and get it signed. And then I would say, hey, Uncle Bob, listen, I've got this deal right here. Let me show you this. I've got it under contract for $78,000. If you look here, we can pull up on Zillow, we can pull up on Redfin, we can pull up anywhere, that the Zestimate on this thing is $160,000, and I really think that if it gets fixed up, it could go for $200,000. What do you think? Do you think that this is a deal? Yeah, that looks phenomenal. How'd you find this? Oh, I have been calling like everybody. I've been knocking on doors. I've been really working hard out there. I just need the capital. Is this something that you'd be interested in partnering with me on so that we could do something, special with this property? Boom! As opposed to, hey, Uncle Bob, I'm in real estate now. I'm going to find some deals. When I find deals, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, and you're going to give me money, and we're going to do this. And it's going to be awesome, right? That's a lot different conversation if you have that opportunity in front of you. That's the beautiful thing. Everybody thinks wholesaling is assigning deals. All wholesaling is the art of finding discounted properties. That's what it is. The exit strategy is up to you. Do you want to wholesale it? Do you want to flip it? Or do you want to keep it and own it? That's it. You got three options. So you just got to determine. When you get that thing locked up, though, when you lock up that deal, that gives you leverage. That shows that you're out there. It's not just a theory. It's not just hopes. It's not just, I believe that I can do this. It's, I've got something right here that's discounted. You want to come on. It's like anything, right? It's like you could do that with cars. You could do that with things that you want to flip or whatever else. If you find a deal and you tell somebody that has wealth that you have a deal, they're gonna listen.
Yeah.
There's a reason they have wealth.
yeah. A lot of people don't want to talk about money
Right.
for some reason. Like it's taboo, right?
Except for people that have money.
Right. So what I would do is if you know your family kind of has money,
Yeah.
they kind of want to talk about what they're doing.
Yes.
So just ask them, hey, what are you doing with your money?
Yeah.
And if they're getting a 6% return, 7% return, or whatever it is, say, hey, what if I could give you a 10% return?
Right now, if my cousin was like, hey, listen, I can buy this Mercedes for like 20 grand and it's worth 50 grand. It just needs, 5,000 and whatever. I'd be like, cool, bro. What's the Kelly Bull? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You're getting this for 20,000. How'd you get it for 20,000? Oh, I know a guy that knows a guy and blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. It's not stolen, is it? Nope. Okay, great. Let's do this thing. Right.
Right.
I would do that today. You know what I mean? Go ahead. It's the same with real estate.
One thing to kind of keep in mind too, also, especially if you're doing this for the first time, is to understand that the money that you're borrowing from private parties is going to be backed up by the property, right?
Yeah.
So you have equity in the house already, so you already have value in there if you're structuring the deal right. Now, when you're having that conversation, they're going to ask you, how do I make sure that I get my money back?
Right.
Well, it's backed up by the property itself, so it's not just a note on your name saying that, okay, I'm going to pay you back. There's a tangible behind it. So
Love it.
that makes it a lot easier.
And by the
whenever you're
way,
having
if
that
you guys
conversation.
need the paperwork for that, just talk to the title company. Talk to any title company. Talk to any investor that you know in the area. You could probably Google it.
Yeah.
And find, some sort of personal guarantee or something. I mean, at some point you're going to want to talk to your own attorney and get the paperwork put together that you use every time. But you can save that cost up front if you want to raise money and just talk to the title company. Brittany with the sassy pose. What about states that have to close with an attorney? I live in South Carolina. How does that work? Do we have to pay the attorney up front?
No.
On your deals? No, typically not.
Paid through escrow.
Yeah.
It's paid through escrow.
Is it Brittany?
Brittany?
Brittany, yeah. Okay. Brittany, listen, just have a conversation with them. It's all depends on the policies of the title company or closing attorney. So talk to them and see if there's upfront. If not, go with somebody that doesn't have an upfront.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Usually they get paid if it successfully goes through the closing, because that's how everybody gets paid in the transaction. Mm-hmm. So usually they're not charging you upfront. So very uncommon for them to charge you up front. But maybe in South Carolina, it's with the attorneys, they all bound together and they're like, let's charge them up front. But I don't think so.
Basic rule of thumb, if someone charges you up front, run.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like with contractors. If they want their money up front,
oh, God.
No.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's this thing called draws.
Butters, 99 from TikTok. Do you recommend renting the properties out first or just flip them?
Depends on what you want to do, your exit strategy. So I started out wholesaling and then doing flips. And then I realized this thing called capital gains is not very nice. It's a lot of taxes.
Yeah.
So I basically transitioned to now I'm going to just own everything. Like I'll turn down flips, because I don't want to actually have more taxable income. So for me, it's doing as a rental property. For you, it might be a flip. Like you might love flipping properties.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what you're looking to do.
Love it. Cody, closed my first wholesale deal for $8K this week, and my first flip closes on Friday. $111,000 check.
Should I do the bell? Can I do the bell?
You get that bell. Ring that thing, brother.
How's this thing where you just
Hold it up and ring that thing.
Oh, I rung it so hard I broke it. Let's go.
All right, listen. This is the last person on this show that gets to ring the bell that's not me, okay? Nobody knows how to do it.
One job,
It's
Devin.
very sensitive. It's a very sensitive technique, all right?
job.
I've got a lot of experience here.
I thought it was harder the better.
Well, it's not. It's like a lady. Finesse. All right?
You don't just ring the bell, Devin. You ring the bell.
Destroyed the bell.
The whole thing. Oh, my goodness. This is hilarious. Anyway, let's keep going. Congratulations. Hold on. Put Cody back up there. Congratulations. That is $111,000 on a flip. That is incredible. Congratulations.
Just bring it back here real quick.
Plus the 8K for that wholesale deal. So
119.
very
go.
well done. Yeah, congratulations, bud.
This is crazy. Anyway, Michael, yeah. For a full-time Monday through Friday corporate employee, how would you getting deals in sales so not uncomfortable having a VA make the calls for me? Should I start with text or mail? Yeah, Michael, if your time is really congested and you've got a life, you've got responsibilities, you've got habits, you've got friends, you've got social, you've got all these things. It has to be sustainable. So you have to ask yourself, am I able to sustain making calls? If the answer is like hell no, like I'm just not going to be able to do it, I would suggest texting. I would suggest you use batch leads. I would suggest that you use the discount code TTP because batch leads, that's who we use, and we do a phenomenal amount of business from it. We'll do almost $500,000 this year from texting. If not pushing it over, we'll see. We're working on a couple things this week. And Batch does a really good job of putting guardrails up to keep you compliant with everything that's been going on with all the different changes and all the different acts enacted this year. So, yeah, I would start with text. Try it out. I mean, if you've got the phone numbers already, I mean, it's a pretty easy transition to just put them in there and start having conversations with people. Just make sure you get them on the phone every single time, and make sure that if you feel a little bit, if it sounds like it's weird and they're messing with you, just move on. All right?
That's a great next question.
Good. Ralph Pena, what type of bell is that? I've been trying to find one on Amazon. Well, right now it's a destroyed bell thanks to this, bodybuilder maniac here that's pounding a gallon of water underneath the desk because he's on 75 hard right now. But I have no idea. It's I'll figure it out. I'll post it to my Instagram or something. I'll put it in there and let you know. Give you a link.
And if you need to buy a new one,
Nah,
I got you.
nah. It's not the first time that thing's.
Not the first.
It'll be another tax write-off.
If I have no money, how do I start in real estate? Joanne.
The best
Go
way
on.
to start with zero money,
Yes.
and you said this before, is
Yep.
driving for dollars.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
take a little notepad,
Yep.
go write down addresses, knock on the doors, and I've touched on this several times already, but don't be scared
Yeah.
to do that. Like fear should only happen when there's danger involved. If you knock on someone's door, what's the likelihood they're going to knock you out? It's not going to happen. People are very nice in person. They're mean on the phone though.
Well,
right?
and most people won't answer, so you're going to have to call them anyway. You're going to catch some people at home, but you're going to find way more deals calling people.
Yeah.
Also, Deal Machine, dealmachine.com. If you have $50 a month, it gives you everything, right? So you literally just drive, and you can do it online. You can do it Google Maps, and you just click the button on the ugly houses that you run across, and then it puts it in a database, and you're able to reach out to them and keep it organized, so you don't have to just write it down the whole time, which is a little bit, it's super annoying if you're driving by yourself. So dealmachine.com, I would highly suggest. That's the biggest discount they have. They love us. They love this channel. They love the show. Yeah, we use it every week, and go out and just find the ugliest houses, and it'll give you all the owner information, show you how much equity is in the property, show you if it's owner occupied or tenant occupied. It's absolutely incredible. So I would, if you've got a little bit, that's what I would spend the money on for sure.
Yep.
Yep. Awesome.
Agreed.
Chauncey. Hey, Brent, if there's an area that has a ton of distressed homes and code enforcement violation homes that have been vacant for a decade or more, but there are a lot of other houses being flipped in the
Area?
Is there more to that? Alejandra's on the phone. Alejandra took a phone call during the show. So, yeah, listen, if things are moving and progressing into these areas that maybe before weren't that popular, absolutely. I would start testing that out. I would start having conversations with anybody that's doing flips in those areas. Any dumpsters that you see in the front of yards, any they post the permits that people apply for on the properties. I would be calling those owners. Go ahead, Raf.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, all that means is that you're seeing something before everybody else does.
Right.
We have those areas in town. I
We
mean,
do.
look at South Phoenix. It's that place was. I mean, everybody was staying away from areas like that, and
Yep.
then they started getting ramped up and revamped, and just money started flowing in. But
Yeah.
yeah, it just means that you're there before the general population. So it's a good thing.
Got it. Awesome. Alex, can you please help me comp a house to see if it's a deal? Tired landlord, month to month, $1,400 a month, wants $175K, only needs minor repairs. Should I go and meet her? Well, I would need an address to help you comp that. It just depends. It just depends. Is she ready to sell now? So remember, every time you want to know, and I love that you put this in here, Alex. So obviously you understand that when you're talking to somebody, any seller, any property owner, and I don't care what your strategy is. It could be Burr, it could be wholesale, it could be rentals, it could be fix and flip. Condition, timeline, motivation, price. Condition, timeline, motivation, price. So the condition is decent. Their timeline sounds like they're ready to go now. Their motivation, that's the only thing. She's a tired landlord. Okay, so she's a tired landlord, 175. If you send in the address, we'll pull it up and take a look. Yep. All right, Alex? But if you think it's a deal, I would schedule an appointment this moment.
I would definitely do that because one thing you'll learn is buyers are liars.
Yeah.
Or sellers are liars. Sorry.
Buyers are liars, sellers are worse is the quote from.
So basically, like she says that the repairs are minor, that could be a lot different than what she's saying. So, if the deal works at that price, 100% go check the property out.
Yep. Awesome.
Brent, did you do this one already?
The one that got cut off,
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a 3-part one. So then
You left in the first part.
it was an emergency.
Okay.
Your son's school called, so I guess.
Area, but some have been vacant for decades. Is everything all right?
I called Aaron.
Okay. Aaron will handle it. Area. But some have been vacant for decades, so gold mine, no one has tried hard enough to find the owner's information. Okay, got it. And the third part for Chauncey, is this normal? Maybe the other wholesalers haven't had any luck in contacting. Yeah, Chauncey, go bananas. Go for it. I mean, check it out. The beautiful thing is if you catch it while people are kind of starting to move their way out there, like if a lot of areas, because of the price points have been exploding, you have to go further out. Mm-hmm. And even not just as wholesalers, but investors as well. And nothing gets an investor more pumped than to be like, and to tell a story at like a barbecue or at Raphael's birthday party or whatever, that, I found that area. I was in that area like a year before everybody else knew about it. And I did 15 deals. You know what I mean? It like gives you like some investor clout. You know what I mean? You know something that other people didn't see, or you have the vision. You're like a brainiac. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but don't have that arrival syndrome.
Right.
Once you do that,
don't stop.
Keep
Bodies
going.
in motion tend to stay in motion. Outside force. Don't let the check that you receive be that outside force that stops your motion. You got to start every day at zero. Zero money in your account, zero opportunities, zero deals pending. All right? That's the mentality. John Johnson, I love that. What do I do? Sorry, that was kind of weird for me to say that. Our beta fish is named John Johnson. Bo, my 4-year-old, named him John Johnson, and I think it's a cool name. I thought it was the coolest name. But this is much handsomer, John Johnson. What do I do if the homeowner is dead and they don't have any listed relatives? What do you think?
That's out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you think, Raph?
Well, first off, have they door knocked on the house? Is there anybody else living there? Is there tenants? And what contact information do they have? Talk to the neighbors. Do not undermine speaking to the neighbors. And if they know any relatives, any cousins, uncles, or whatnot. When you there's a couple of different. If you want to get pragmatic, there's a couple of different places where you can skip trace just one-offs, and it'll give you next of kin or relative information. One website is Spokeo. .com, SPOKEO.com, and it'll give you social media. If there's anybody that's been related to that property, you can follow that thread. So first thing I would do is go to the house, talk to the neighbors. Second thing I would do is look up, skip trace it on Spokeo.com, and then see who's related to that property. So
awesome. There you go, Spokeo. And John, real quick, there's usually someone that's going to get that property. It might go back to the city. I mean, it might just go back to the county. That's what will happen if there's literally no heirs. It's pretty rare, but that's kind of the worst case scenario. Ashley, I am new and was wondering if people use their personal cell phone number when starting, or is there a phone app service people use. Please, I live where there's bad phone reception. Any advice? Yeah. Callrail.com. Callrail is a typical one. It's very affordable. Callrail.com. Also, there is some apps, sideline number apps, right?
Yeah, there's a couple of apps. The one I like too is Smartphone, SMRT phone. It's an app. You do it on your phone if you're using.
No A?
No, yeah, no A.
SMRT.
Yeah.
Smartphone.
PHONE.
There you go. Yeah, actually, I always liked having a second. Listen, when I started out, I was just whatever. My cell phone this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to go. And that's typically what most people do. Now, if you're wondering, are people calling me back that are potential leads, or is this real estate related? That's a nice advantage to have, so you know which hat to wear when you answer that, as opposed to like, screaming kids or screaming, your friends going bananas in the background, or you're answering at a restaurant or something weird. You know what I mean? If it's a professional call, you're like, oh, geez, I got to step outside to where it's a little bit quieter, or at least I would. And then, have those conversations and be a little bit more professional. Joseph, what is the best way to find paid off homes and then construct a seller finance deal with them? You get referrals, so I'm going to just...
you'll take this one.
Yeah. PropStream, ttpdata.com. ttpdata.com. You can literally find properties that... Well, first of all, every serious real estate investor that I know uses PropStream. They just do, for pulling lists, for comping properties, for reading between the lines on the conversations that you're having with these property owners. So you can do a search where it's 100% equity. And then you reach out to them and you just say, hey, listen, I'm interested in seeing if you would consider an offer on your property. I do something that's a little bit different. I'm not saying I want to give you cash for the property, but I would love to work terms with you and see if you'd like to be the bank. You still earn income on this, but you don't have to take the responsibility of owning it. So that's the conversation, Joseph. Good?
Yeah, on just to add a little bit on to that, it's if you go to also listsource, I'm sorry, not listsource, what's listsource?
Yeah.
If you go to listsource, you can look up loan information, and if you have a private or carry seller carry type of loans in place on some of those properties, you can just continue the conversation with the new owners. We pulled lists just for seller financing purposes out of that stuff, so people who've done it in the past.
It shows you seller financed properties.
Yeah.
Got it. Awesome. But the list source is what, 9 cents an address? It's 3 cents through our company. But, for our students. But
3 cents for our students. Yeah. But I mean, you're pulling records. You're not pulling phone numbers out of that, so it's just records.
Are the numbers I pull from batch driven run through the litigation list? I think you have to run it through the litigation list, Jerry, but I could find out. Daniel, will you go grab somebody from the batch-driven team, bring him in here? Yep. Anybody? We'll ask him. Yeah, who would be the best, Andra?
Just grab Michelle.
Yeah, grab Michelle. Perfect. Salvador, there you are. Who creates a note when you get private money? Do you or the title company?
I personally create it. So
Yeah.
I do a promissory note. I sign it. The lender signs it. And then I actually personally guarantee it just to make them feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
And then I give that note to the title company to create the lien. So they're in second lien position because the hard money's in first lien.
Love it. Yeah. Do you turn it over to the title company to record it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you just turn it into them. Yeah. You could do either way. Salvador, I assume Devin does it because it's faster and you could just do it right now as opposed to waiting a day for them to, put this all together and get it over there. So once you have the standard form, it's pretty easy. Just plug and chug.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I just used that thing Google again.
Yeah.
Just Googled promissory note, and I just used a standard one I got off of Google.
What?
Yep.
You didn't have an attorney and you didn't pay him thousands of dollars to set it up for you?
I literally try to do everything for free because then I keep more money.
Well, that's a crazy concept. Yeah. Awesome. Salvador, good seeing you. Love to hear you play the guitar sometime. You'll have to play with Raph. I am Mike Hall. Just closed on a deal yesterday for $6,500.
You want me to ring the bell?
I got it. See,
Watch and learn,
stuff.
Devin.
the technique is you have to pull down on this thing to ring it. Yeah. Anyway, congratulations, $6,500. It's all thanks to your efforts, is what it's thanks to. And it's thanks to talking to people. You're absolutely right. But you did an incredible job. You went out there and you supplied $6,500 worth of value to your community. You should take a lot of pride in that and just keep building on it and build on it and build on it and just stay in motion. Don't let this check be the thing that slows down your motion. All right?
That's awesome though, especially if it's the first deal.
Yeah.
Like my first deal was $950.
Really?
It was a deal I got in New Mexico.
Okay.
And
Random.
yeah, just really small place in New Mexico. It was so hard to sell it, so I had to keep dropping the price.
Yeah.
And I shared the assignment fee with who brought it to me.
Awesome.
So again, it's just talking to people and building relationships. Hey, bring me a deal. I'll split the profit with you. And
Awesome.
I got $950.
Your YouTube channel dedicated to Burr?
There's some in there about the Burr, but most of it's using those life insurance policies I was telling you about.
Got it. Very cool. Okay, cool. Guys, if you're interested in that or if you're just jumping on, check out Devin's Mr. Burr YouTube channel, TikTok, and Instagram. If you're interested in learning more about what he's doing with that whole life insurance policy and that infinite banking, make sure that you DM him. DM him so that you can get direct access, and then he's going to point you in the right direction. All right? Awesome. Oh, come on!
Let's go.
Fearless and Limitless Lifestyle TV. Here we go. Have a $10,000 closing today. Come on! Let's get it. I love it. Here we go. Michelle, get over here.
She doesn't know anyone. She doesn't know about it.
What's the question?
When you get numbers from batch driven, is it already filtered through the litigation scrub?
Oh, when you get skip trace numbers?
Yes.
Yes.
Come here.
So we,
Come here. Come here.
Let's
Come here.
give Michelle
The lovely
a
Michelle.
camera.
Here we go.
Hello, hello.
Right here. Step right
All
up.
right.
Okay,
Hi, guys.
The answer is
all right.
Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes.
okay.
So,
all right. See
yeah.
you later, Michelle. Great job.
All
No, I'm
right,
just kidding. So, guys, if you get numbers, skip trace through batch driven, it's already scrubbed through the litigators.
Yes. So when you skip trace any phone numbers and you upload them into you go to text them, we do automatically scrub for litigators and any professional complainers.
How good you are just looking at the camera instead of the monitor. You are a pro. Get out of here.
All right.
You're going to take my job. All right. There you go. See? That's why I love, being in the same building with all the batch services. Maurice, there he is. What should you do if a seller truthfully doesn't know the value of their home and they want to get an appraisal before giving me their price? You encourage them to get an appraisal before they give you a price. Listen, here's the thing. You want to do what's in the best interest of that property owner. If they really want to get the most out of that property, and they want to see what the appraised value. Here's the thing, Maurice, you should never be afraid of that, because if that property's in really rough condition, that appraiser, it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be an absolute dumpster fire bloodbath of a appraisal, and sometimes they'll just throw the lowest of the low comps, and you've got this thing just sitting on a platter for you. Remember, we're not giving people, we're not just going and we're like, oh yeah, your house is worth 100 and we'll give you a 10. We go with what value we think it's worth. Right? What you, the buyer, that's the only person that determines the value of property, is a ready, willing, and able buyer. It's not an appraiser. It's not the seller. It's not a lender. It's not the market. It's not a real estate agent. It's not. It is a ready, willing, and able buyer. If somebody's not willing to purchase that property at a price that the seller wants, it's not going to sell. So you determine the value on this thing. Sometimes the appraiser actually helps you out because they go, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Now, if it's good property in a good condition in a good area, they're going to get an appraisal that's going to be probably retail value. Refer them to an agent and move on.
Yep.
Right?
I agree.
I think, a lot of the times I think stuff like this can come from a fear of loss,
Yes.
right? Mentality. So
Yep.
it's you're clinging on to one single lead. That means that's a symptom, right? But the real problem is that the lead count might be low.
Right.
So, get the lead count higher, and stuff like this is going to be just recognized as a symptom as opposed to something that's going to stop you in your tracks and then really have you thinking about that one deal, that one seller for a whole week.
Yeah, you don't worry about losing one deal when you have 10 in the pipeline.
These are facts.
Or 20. Or 100.
If you're in motion, you'll stay in motion, right?
That's it, baby.
I'm telling you, I'm taking
Isaac
notes back
Newton.
here, brother.
Sir Isaac Newton. I'm telling you. He had it figured out in the 1600s. Brittany, what advice could you give to someone trying to start cold calling when you work a 9 to 6? Is it wise to call on the weekends? What did you do starting out? Were you doing a hybrid of loan officer and real estate investor?
No. So what I did is I did Deal Machine.
Yeah.
So I got the Deal Machine app, and I actually didn't want to drive around because after work I was kind of I didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
So I hired people and paid them per property. For qualified properties. If they sent me a nice property, I didn't pay them for it. So they knew the criteria, and I think it was like $1 per property. So I would just pay them, and then I would go through all those properties and start making calls or put them into batch leads, start texting them. That's how I started doing it. But weekends I think is great because people are home.
Yep.
They're not working.
Yep.
So weekends, they're actually a great time. You just have to discipline yourself to work the weekends.
Weekends are great. I mean, weekends are great. I would also, Brittany, just depends on what your job is. Some people literally can't do anything while they're at their job. You know, some people, they're teachers or they're nurses or they're truck drivers or they're in the military, whatever else it is, and they literally can't use their phones from that time. They can't get it going. But if you do, most people... probably 70% of people have some breaks in their day or can kind of multitask. If you can do that, I would suggest maybe testing out 50 text blasts a day. Start building some momentum, start getting those conversations, start getting a couple leads here and there, and then doing your calls on the weekend if you have the time and availability to do that. Because texting is kind of like, they respond pretty quick. You can get through it and be in and out in like an hour typically. Or it pops up, and if you're doing something, you're working on a project, but that pops up, you can easily go bup, 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 and then get back to work. So it's kind of like day trading, Yeah. Will. Hey, Brent, love what you do, man. What is your opinion on pay-per-lead services? Are they worth the investment? It just depends. Some of them are... they want you to pay if it closes, which is the best, right? Then, I mean, just go crazy for it. What I would say is if you're going to test it out, have a budget and test it, if you have that curiosity. So what happens is there's companies out there that are big, like they have a lot of SEO. They've figured out SEO, search engine optimization. They've figured out pay-per-click. They've figured out how to get leads in, but they don't want to convert those leads. They just want to sell these leads. So they sell them for whatever, 50 to, in our market, it's like $350 for a lead. I've done it. Typically the leads are kind of like outside of the prime areas in my experience. And, it hasn't been a big income generator for us. It's not something that we would rely on. But if you're in an area where, maybe there's a lot of leads, a lot of opportunities, maybe it'll work. So if you're interested in it, test it out. Just have a set budget and squeeze everything you can out of those leads.
We tried that for a while too.
Yep.
And the leads were not exclusive. Most of the companies out there will sell it to other
Multiple
investors
people.
as well. Yeah, to multiple people. So you're still not the only one getting, the exclusivity for that one lead. So there's gonna be other people reaching out. And
if you're getting them, Will, make sure that they're exclusive.
Yeah.
For real. Yeah. Real estate Rod just closed on a deal Monday for $20K. Thank you so much for what you do. So encouraging. Listen, Rod, you've done it. You've crossed that bridge, right? You've crossed the faith. You've had faith, and you crossed it to it being a fact that you can do this business. Your brain has changed forever, brother. Your brain is changed. You can do this. You can do this over and over and over for as long as you want, right? How exciting is that? God, if that doesn't deserve a bell ring, come on.
And 20 grand first deal. Wow.
Wow. He's spoiled. Right?
Man.
It's better when you get one that's $950 because you're like, okay.
No, but I'm telling you, the 950
Yeah.
gave me proof of concept.
Of course.
And the floodgates open.
of course.
So, like-
I'm telling you, it changes your brain.
What I would do, Rod, is take half of that, take 10 grand, put it into marketing, and get more leads, get more deal flow coming in. The other 10, just act like you only made 10 grand, basically. Don't act like you made 20. Biggest mistake I find people making with money, they make a little bit. What do they go do? They spend it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Well,
and
you
think
either
about
spend it or you invest it. What are you going to do?
right. And if you invest it,
Yep.
you have more write-offs. That's the thing. You need a business, an LLC.
Keep doing what you're doing, Ron. Whatever you did to get that, keep it going. Don't let this be the outside force that stops your motion, baby. Awesome job, Rod. Jerry, by the way, Brent, door knocked homeowner on rental next door. Took 4 months till they contacted me back. Contract is being signed this week. Closing it with my 401k and will become rental number 4. Jerry
it.
Davis, you're hearing the bell, baby. Come
Let's
on.
go.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Congratulations, Jerry. We celebrate you. Keep building up that rental portfolio. Building wealth, baby. That's awesome. Derek, without using an Excel sheet, what system are you using to track KPIs? Also, what KPIs are you currently tracking? Derek, there is a ton of videos on this channel that I would love for you to check out about KPIs. It's going to deep dive it a lot more than we can do here in the last 13 minutes of the show. But basically, to track your numbers, it just depends on what you're doing, how you're getting your leads. But if you're getting them from calling or texting, they track it for you. So all your KPIs are within the dialer or within whatever system that you're text blasting from. Now, if you're looking for KPIs on something that is mail or, well, basically it's just mail or bandit signs or something like that, that's kind of like obscure and out there, you're going to just have to track it with Excel or something. But for the most part, all the systems that you're going to be using, all the technology that you're going to be using to generate leads will track it for you. Mr. KPI here, I mean, right?
Yep, 100%. Don't get too caught up in it. There's not, you don't need to track, 20,000 KPIs to kind of know where your company's at.
Right.
There's a handful of them. We have, and we can put out the PDF. I have a PDF on that.
Yeah.
I don't know, do you guys drop it in the show notes or?
We can?
Yeah, okay.
Is that what we do?
Yeah, we'll do a link. Yeah, but there's systems out there. I track KPIs for our business through Podio, and you can set up automations in there. It kind of works around the whole Excel sheet thing. The biggest thing, like Brent said, is to know what to track, right? That's the biggest thing, and that's going to differ depending on what you're using.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're calling, obviously, I want to know how many hours you're calling. I want to know how many contacts you have, how many leads you have, how many appointments you go on, and how many deals you do. And that just that shows, remember, there's 3 parts of our business: lead generation, conversion, and then exit strategy. Conversion part, that's the whole sales part, right? That's the pre-qualifying, lead follow-up, offer presentation, all of that stuff. The lead generation side of things, you just want to make sure that if you are talking to a lot of people but not getting a lot of leads, then you got to work on your approach. You got to work on your tone of voice. You got to work on your active listening. You got to work on your ability to get past people's first line of defense. And a lot of that has to do with your approach on the phone and your confidence on the phone. So it just depends on what you're looking at there when you break down KPIs. But KPIs will tell you every strength and weakness that you have in your business. It's so important. E-Money, J-Money, is it good to buy property from a broker that buy it at discount price and sell it to you?
Yeah,
It's essentially what you
for
do.
sure. 100%.
That's where you're buying them.
Yeah, so like you can get from agents and things like that. What I'll a lot of times do is to incentivize them to bring me more deals. I'll let them know that they can represent both sides.
Yeah.
So they can represent the sale to me and then represent the sale on the back end when my wife buys it from my LLC.
Love it.
So give them double commission. You can 100% do that.
Listen, E-Money, J-Money, if it's discounted, buy that deal, man. Find some way. Either buy that deal, wholesale that deal, keep that deal, flip that deal. The biggest, I mean, the word that stands out the most to me right there is discounted property. If a broker's bringing you discounted property, that's your whole business.
Yep.
That's how we made over $290,000 this year. So, yeah, 100%. David, are Trek docs the only form of documentation allowed in Texas, or can you use a custom agreement? I think people use plenty of custom agreements. I would just talk to the title company. Just talk to any title company or anybody in Texas there. But I've never heard that you have to use the realtor contract. But maybe you do. I mean, maybe there's some sort of, guideline, some sort of, what do they call? I guess, law.
Clauses and compliance, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something. So the Department of Real Estate, you could easily call them and ask them. Call the Department of Real Estate. Just Google it.
I want to know if David's a pirate.
Yeah. That's some long, strong hair. I like it. I like that style. Look at him. It looks great.
Rocking the beard.
I couldn't do it. I can't grow a beard. I mean, you guys, can you grow a beard?
No, absolutely not.
I
have
know.
like
I can't
two
grow. Look at these guys. I wish I
hairs
could.
on my
Beard are the Spanx for men, right?
Yeah.
Mine gets
You start
long
getting
and
older, you
patchy.
start getting a
I can't
little
do it.
chubbier. That beard covers it up, and all of a sudden you look like a youthful man again. Not you. You're just Shred City here, sitting next to, a little bodybuilder here. Anyway, Luis, best month of the year. 2 deals closed.
Nice.
November 2nd, son's birthday, 6K, beautiful. Today, 10K, and God willing, on the 17th, 7K in Dallas-Fort Worth market. All of this MLS deals.
Wow.
Badass agent I have. Thanks, TTP, for your motivation. You are incredible. 3 deals. That's bananas. Here we
Love
go.
it.
Good work, Luis.
I love it. And listen, when you close a deal on your son's birthday, it just makes it better. It just does. So, my son's birthday is on the 19th. I'm not sure if that falls in the week. I'm going to have to see if we're closing a deal on that day, and I can celebrate with you. That's awesome.
But think about that. If they can replicate that every month,
Yep.
top 5%,
Yeah, of course.
right?
Yep.
Incredible.
Yep.
Good job.
From an agent. These are MLS deals.
Yeah.
Seeing more and more of them. It's a good strategy. All right. Popping up. We're working on it. It's not loading. What's the question? Oh, okay. Have about 150K. Want to buy Airbnb properties. You think I can buy 2?
You can buy a lot more than 2.
Whoa.
Yeah, like 150 grand
Cash.
can't do much for you if you use the whole 150 grand. So the best thing about
talking about
real estate,
leverage?
that's the best part about real estate, is leverage, using other people's money, OPM. Everyone's heard about it. So you can use private money, you can use hard money. 150 grand, I mean, you could quite frankly do a lot of deals. I did a recent deal where my out of pocket was only $216
Okay.
total.
Yeah.
$260.
Yeah, but if he doesn't have if he doesn't have a track record like you do of doing these deals and raising the money, I assume he wants to take this 150. Maybe he doesn't want to pay interest rates. He doesn't want to
150
pay.
You can definitely do. You can definitely do it. So my firse deal.
2 deals?
Yes.
Do you think he should take 2 deals if he's just starting?
I would do 1. Don't use all your money right out of the gates, because then you're going to be desperate, right? Desperation is not a good thing sometimes.
Desperation leads to stress. Stress leads to anxiety. Anxiety leads to mistakes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
In this business.
So the way I started is I actually did my first flip with equity line of credit on my house.
Yeah.
I didn't have 150 grand cash.
Right.
I had 80 grand available on an equity line.
Okay.
I used that to do a flip, which cost about 60 grand.
Okay.
It could have been an Airbnb. It could have been a rental, but that wasn't my strategy. So 150 grand, you can definitely do 2 properties. Even if you don't have the leverage of private money, you can get hard money for sure if it's a deal, and just use, I would say, about half of that to do a deal, get some income off of it, and then go do more.
Love it. Good advice. Kaylin, do you use 84% for every home in every market? No, Kaylin. Keep it simple. So what he's referring to there is if a property is over $250,000, what we're looking at here is, or over 200,000, is 10% profit for the investor from a wholesale side.
Right.
6% for closing costs and some sales costs. That's what we take off the top, off of an ARV, minus the repair costs is typically what you can sell a wholesale deal for.
Correct.
But just to keep it easy, Kaylin, remember, if it's 250 and above, just times it by 0.66, you're going to get close. If it's 250 and below, 50%. And then if it's a 250 to 100, it's 50%, and if it's below 100,000, you need to be at 25%.
Yep.
Typically, unless the property's totally destroyed, and then offer them a couple thousand.
Pack of gum.
Yeah. Pay them in compliments.
Yes.
Yeah. Jores, can you teach me everything you know, sirs? We're doing it here, bro. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe and hit that bell. I am telling you, we've got hours and hours. Boom. Oh, this means wrap it up.
Oh,
you want to wrap it up? Anyway, so listen, guys. Here's what we're talking about. We are talking about being loud on social media. Being loud. You gotta just have that courage. Have that courage, get out there, have a lot of pride in what you're doing, and really let people know of the goals that you're having. 10, 11 months ago, you had 0 people on TikTok. Now you have 700,000 people.
right.
700,000 people that know what you're doing. You had 2,000 people that knew what you were doing in October of 2019, and that was working out.
Yeah.
That was fitness.
Being jacked.
And then in 2 years, you added another 12,000 people following you on Instagram that know that you're Mr. Burr.
Right.
Life-changing.
For sure. I mean, my income has skyrocketed just from social media.
Love it.
Because I'll always go back to this. It's value, 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 value.
Yep.
My net is so wide now that I can give more value to more people. So in return, I make more money.
Love it.
It's that simple.
Awesome. Well, let's bring it up. Let's wrap this show. Let's get this thing done. We've got no more questions. We went through all the questions. So here we go. Come on up. Rafael Cortez.
The man, the myth.
Coming through. We've got Matt Hill here. We've got Daniel Walker. We've got Alejandra Merch.
Matt Hill's famous enough.
Yeah, we love you guys. We celebrate you. Remember, keep your house clean. Protect your health. And increase your value to your community, and you will live a great life. Until next week, love you guys. See ya.